obviously there was a lot of pressure on you because you were the guy. Obviously we had DeMarcus Beasley coming up at the same time, but you were the guy. And I feel like this group now, while very young, has a number of players that can help to alleviate some of those pressures in terms of quality and talent and where the opportunities could come from. Now, we haven't seen that production necessarily in front of the goal, but do you feel like we are going into a generation where a player like you, had you played with this group, might have had less pressure or felt less pressure? Or do you still think because of the fact that you came up at the age that you did with all the sort of pressure on your shoulders that you sort of carry that for your whole career?
Yeah, but it's all relative, right? Because we talk about pressure. I mean, when we were all playing, if you had a bad game, like it showed up in the newspaper the next morning or whatever. But now, within seconds, you miss a chance, and there's like 10,000 people telling you how terrible you are.
Yeah, right? People say PFOC didn't make the World Cup because he missed a chance against Mexico.
Right, and that, you know, it's. I mean, that's
Charlie,
the reality.
Charlie said that, by the way. Charlie said that.
What do you know about pressure?
But that's the world these guys live in, right? So that is, you know, ultimately we're human beings, and if your peers are not accepting of something you did, you're gonna feel that, right? So like, if you make a mistake and social media is blowing up with all the mistakes you made, I hate it. I hate it for players these days, but I think they get it. They know it's not real, but it feels real. You know, we're all human and we feel those things. So I just hope they can, I'll say it again and over. I hope they can just let all that go, kind of just take it on as a group. You know, it's not Weston putting it on his shoulders. It's not Christian putting it on his shoulders. I think a guy who can really, really help with that is Brendan Aronson. He's playing insane right now, and just let him just go play and play freely and maybe score a goal or two and get a result, and then just let things calm down and let them be carefree.
If they do succeed and get through the group stage to get out in the knockout rounds, who's the player or the players that have helped them get through? If you say this is a picture perfect way for them to get through, how is it done?
Well, we have to defend well. I mean, that's going to be the challenge. I think we're good enough to score goals all over the field. You know, there's players all over the field who can score, but we got to defend well. So Walker Zimmerman has to be really good. Matt Turner is going to have to be really good. But the guy who really, really makes this team go is Weston. When they're at their best, I mean, Christian, of course, Brendan in the way he's playing, but when Weston is at his peak, he's unstoppable and he's unplayable. And, you know, I've been critical of him in the past for some of his decisions off the field, but that's why, because he's so valuable to this team. And I think if he's at his best, we can be really good.
So Landon, I have going back to what you said before about being carefree. How much do you think, I know the bigger onus of it is on the player, right? The individual, but how much influence, now that you're a coach, do you think the coach has, Greg Berhalter, in getting his team in that headspace? And what's interesting when I look at the three opponents, I actually think we're going to play our best against England because they are so heavily favored in every game that they're going to play, and that we can play carefree walking into that. But when I look at Wales and Iran, there's a lot of expectation, especially from casual fans that are always tuning in once every 4 years, that we should walk over those teams, you know, and I think the players can feel that as well.
Yeah, you guys know Wales that's not an easy game. It's not like,
no, right.
You know, we thought Slovenia was going to be an easy game. That's not.
Or Algeria.
Or Algeria, right? We could have lost that game easily. So none of these games are easy. It doesn't happen that way. So, yeah, you might be right, Jimmy. I mean, maybe the England game is when we play our best. But I find it hard to believe that a group of 22, 23-year-olds playing in their first World Cup aren't going to be so at it against Wales. I mean, they are going to be so fired up, right? I don't know how they wouldn't show up ready to play. Now, to your point about how much does a coach influence, I think a lot. And Greg has I think a really good way with the guys. Just watching them react on the video when Greg told them that they were going to the World Cup and the way they view him and see him, I think he's done a remarkable job with a group of young guys, and I think they'll be ready. I don't have any question about that.
And for you personally, Landon, do you? Because I struggled with this for a long time after not playing. Actually, when I retired, I hadn't been in the national team for quite a few years, but it took me a long time to want to watch the national team. I could go to club games, I could go to anywhere, but do you still feel a little bit when the national team is playing? Do you still feel something? You know, you do broadcasts, you do all kinds of things, you coach, but do you still find it hard at times to just sort of sit back and enjoy a national team game?
Yeah, I find it hard to just sit back and enjoy it because I'm stressed watching. When you're watching qualifiers, it's really stressful. I was really stressed out with the young group after what happened in 2018. You know, I wasn't convinced that we started qualifying pretty poorly, if you remember.
Mhm.
I wasn't convinced we were going to get out of it. So I'm excited to go watch a World Cup as a fan, but I think the US games are going to cause me a lot of stress.
I'm with you. Every game I'm stressed. There's never a comfortable feeling.
No.
Give me your starting 11 for Wales.
Oh boy. For Wales or against Wales?
Against Wales.
I would love for you to go into the Wales 11. That would be so great.
Well, Kiefer Moore, Dan James just scored on the weekend.
Is Gareth Bale starting against the US?
All right, let's go through it. Okay.
Well, you're going to make Charlie mad just before you start because he's got Brendan Aronson coming off like third off the bench. So
No, not happening.
Yeah, all right. He's
All right.
So,
Matt
I don't.
Turner,
Okay, Matt Turner.
left to right. Jedi, Tim Ream.
Mhm.
Surprise pick there. Walker.
No, we're all on the
We
same
agree.
page.
We're all on the same page.
We're all
Okay.
with
Yeah.
you.
Walker,
Dest.
Yedlini.
Go
Gedler.
over Dest?
I worry about him defensively sometimes.
Wow.
Like if Dan James is out there.
Okay.
That's bold. You know what? I like it.
You want my 11 or he?
Yeah.
No, we want your
guys,
11.
leave him
Your
alone.
11.
Leave the man alone. Let him give us
Yeah,
the
yeah.
11.
comments.
I'll
No
say
comments.
Yedlini.
Jimmy's trying to pick you apart already.
I'm
God.
not.
What
I'm
else?
just saying.
All right, Tyler, Weston, Eunice.
Mm-hmm.
Christian as a false 9.
Okay.
Gio and Brendan.
Wow.
Is
I
that?
like
That's
this
the-
I like
coach.
that.
I
Plot
like
twist.
this manager.
Plot twists.
Is
That's what you guys thought.
Weston more sick, like a 6-ish? Is he
Ish,
more
yeah, but he
defensive?
can do it all. So he just
Okay.
but Tyler, and Eunice in there are so good together.
So good.
So good together. So I
Now,
just
so let's just say then Weston might not be ready to go for this first game.
Mhm.
Who let's say he's not. Who would your lineup would change, but who would you put in? Would you drop Gio or Brendan centrally and then maybe bring Timo Weah in, or what would you do?
maybe play Brendan next to Tyler.
Okay.
It's risky. I mean, it's a very offensive lineup, but whatever.
But he
Very
presses crazy. He presses crazy, and then
I know, but that's you got to be
yeah.
safe at times too. So
All right. Before we let you go, we appreciate your time, Mr. Landon Donovan. We have a tradition here on the In Soccer We Trust show where we ask all of our special guests, and you're the most special of these special guests, to give us your best jersey swap throughout your career, and then conversely, or in addition, the swap that didn't work out, like you went to go get Ronaldinho's or something, and he kind of gave you the finger wag, like the Dikembe
Or
Mutombo, like
in
now
the
we're not
locker
going
room.
to switch.
Yeah, the
I'll
tunnel.
give it to the locker room.
Yeah, in the tunnel. What do you got for us?
all right, take this the right way. I never asked. Actually, I shouldn't say I never asked anyone for a jersey. If it was a friend or former teammate, I would ask for a jersey. That's why I never asked for any of yours.
I was just trying to remember. Did he ever ask? For my jersey?
Wait, so how am I supposed to
I
take
got the
this?
swap in the final at the 2014.
I'm taking that the right way.
I'm taking it the right way too.
Best. Do you guys remember a defender named Lucio?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
No,
Brazilian.
never heard of him.
I got his in Chicago.
I don't know. I don't know how old you got.
Confeds Cup final or what? Where'd you get?
I think it was a friendly. I think it was a friendly at the Rose Bowl where I didn't touch the ball for 90 minutes because he just dominated me. And I had played with I played with him at
Bayern.
at Leverkusen and at Bayern. And at Bayern.
Was he by the way, was he still he was a forward up until the Olympic age when he became a defender. He was Lucy
Yeah.
was a
Oh, that's
forward.
That guy used to take he would win a ball, win a tackle, and he'd just run for 50 yards through the middle. And he just couldn't get near him. He was a tank.
Well, at least that jersey must fit you because you're 6'4". I traded with Lucio in Chicago in the friendly in Chicago, and it literally goes down past my knees, and I'm like, what can I do with this? Guy's
Not
huge.
everyone can be tall like me.
Okay, so Lucio's
that's
your
legit.
best. Okay, what's maybe? I guess if you haven't asked for any, you don't have any.
Do you get any in the
I
02?
missed.
Yeah.
I mean, look, my 100th cap was against Messi and Argentina.
Jeez, that's like a double flex right there. That's pretty
I
impressive.
kind of do wish that was kind of a double flex. I kind of do wish I had asked for his jersey. That would have been cool. But you know, guys, sometimes some things you regret in life.
No,
Is that the truth?
That's the truth. We all have our own baggage with that statement. All right, everybody.